Cornerstone was released on October 19th in 1979. It's mostly remembered for the song Babe, which placed #1 on Billboard Hot 100 that year. The album itself actually placed #2 on Billboard 200, right behind Led Zeppelin's In Through the Outdoor. A quick side note, this was Styx's musical transition into a more pop sound, and I'd say they succeeded. Now let's address the cover. Overall, it's pretty dark and depicts a person standing over a piece of stone partially visible in the dirt. I like the twilight sky in the background, and the person is holding a flashlight to light up the piece of metal he or she is looking at. The metal object has hard to make out designs on it, which, as far as I know, are up to the listener to interpret. What I took away from the front cover is that the square piece of metal is undeniably a cornerstone. I took this for what it is, and have concluded that it represents the band's history. As I said earlier, this album is significantly more pop sounding than their previous ones. And maybe the person shining the flashlight on it is trying to show that it's being buried by the dirt because they're growing and expanding from what they used to be. Also, just because the songs take a new direction musically, it still relies on their past ones and the sound that they had. Or maybe Tommy Shaw had a fetish for abstractly decorated pieces of metal. On the back, the setting is completely changed. There's a little kid in the middle of a spherical room staring at a white cloth podium that has a cornerstone sitting on top of it. The cornerstone has the same design as the one on the front, but it's fully illuminated and not covered by dirt. There's letters on the floor around the podium that spell out Styx. Well, actually it spells out Sty because where the X should be is obscured by a wall. They were going for a specific angle with this shot, and if that meant covering up a letter, then that's what had to happen. There's 2 empty hallways that you can see, but it's pretty obvious there's 4 in total, which all lead to the cornerstone in the middle. So, what's the meaning behind this picture? I'll do my best. The room is very lit up and pretty much the complete opposite of the dark front. Maybe this is a metaphor that the album will be just as good as the last one, if not better, and will pay respect to their old music, which I said I think is represented by the cornerstones. I should add that the cornerstone has the same design as the other one. The only thing I really have a problem with here is the kid looking at the cornerstone. I'm not entirely sure if he has any clothes on. That's all I really want to say about that. All that's left are the designs between the letters that spell out Styx on the floor. They're pretty generic. One's an anchor, one's one of those balancing things. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. The back cover also opens up like a door, and inside is the record. If you take out the record, you can see the members of the band. Pretty typical record stuff. Back to the Bars was released December 1978 by Todd Rundgren. It was recorded in New York, Los Angeles, and Cleveland. That's what I call a geographical triple threat. It's a double live album, and the cover is pretty interesting. Impossible to miss in the middle is a shirtless Todd Rundgren with his hands stretched out and the glitch color spectrum between them. I don't find this nearly as impressive as his mullet though. That's as classic as it gets. Business in the front, party in the back. Musically, the album's pretty good, but nothing spectacular. Lastly, there's a turquoise desert in the background and blue sky, but it comes off as bland. On the back, he's a little bit closer to you, and the color spectrum now spells out the collaborations and features on the album. There's some neat people on this, including Hall & Oates and Stevie Nicks. The background is the same and just as boring as the front. If you open it up, If you open it up, it's just his torso and hands with pictures of the recording process between them. You gotta respect his dedication to this one design. Some of the photos here are pretty cool and weird too.
I said it's fucking Payday, motherfucker!
Go, Payday, go, go.
Jefferson's Starship made Modern Times on April 2nd, 1981. It's a really modern album too. No more lame airplanes, we're on the Starship now. Time to astronaut up, y'all. I don't know where in time or space this cover came from, but wherever it did needs some serious help. There's a girl dressed in a black suit that forms a triangle on her head climbing onto a granite slab. Who are her parents, Bullet Bill and Megan Fox? As for the background, there's not enough words in the dictionary to describe it. I am able to discern 3 white orbs shooting down on the right side. Is that a common thing in this world or dimension? We'll never know. The back is just the same background with no white orbs and the track listings in the upper left. There's a blue-green miniature Saturn on the bottom left, so that's gotta be the planet this thing came from. It opens up like a book just like the other 2 albums in this review, and the band members are in black and white staring at you. They're not smiling either. This is too serious of a matter. We're talking interstellar travel and bullet people, okay? If you can't handle that, put the record down and play some classical music, scrub.